Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Madeline with Embrace the Madness. Thanks so much for tuning in for a podcast episode. I'm excited to be here. I kind of was on like an unwritten hiatus from the podcast for a couple of months. I mean, I would post y'all know, y'all know I would do like one a month, and that would be like kind of all I could do. But I feel like I'm coming out of, I guess, a valley. If you look at, life ebbing and flowing, I'm on an upward trajectory. And I think that being in a space where I feel like I can podcast, I think that's definitely upward trajectory, because I didn't realize how this is also a form of creation. And so, what am I trying to say? I'm like, is this still the intro? Yeah, I never really like looked at this as creation, but I'm literally creating something out of something that wasn't manifest physically yet. So, yes, this is creating. And yes, this is also, some days you don't want to fucking talk. Some days you don't have it in you. And like, that's where I've been lately. But I think that we need these times to learn those lessons, and also to be able to appreciate, the duality, be able to appreciate the other side. Because even though I've experienced, lower times, I've still experienced really awesome stuff in my life. And so it's just, some sort of integration of what's going on. But yeah, I'm excited to be back. I think that it was very par- blah, 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 blah. I just like want to get it out right now. It's gonna be Gemini season. Yeah, so it was it was always therapeutic for me, because I was able to like talk to something, talk to a microphone, talk to a wall, like literally talking to a wall right now. But like podcasting just offers this thing where you can kind of just unload. I mean, it's essentially like free therapy if you think about it. Um, my software is not licensed to diagnose me, but it's like I feel like we all just need somewhere to let it out, dump it out, get it out, deposit waste. I love journaling for that too, but I think, and not saying that it's like correlated, or, well, it could be correlated. It's not like directly caused and affected by, but I definitely think that not podcasting probably didn't really allow me to integrate these experiences. Because I think one of my favorite things about podcasting and talking things out is the ability to, because you have never talked about it or made sentences about it, you haven't really made that connection. But when you either write an idea or you speak an idea, you have to like make it make sense, make it logical. And so I believe that I didn't give myself that time. But yeah, it's been a wild ride. I cannot believe I started this in November. It will be 3 years. It's just freaking insane that I did it 3 years ago. But thanks so much to everybody for listening. Thanks so much for supporting me. I did just make the really sad and heartbreaking decision to retire my Patreon. I was just getting overwhelmed, and that's kind of one of those things that I started at the pandemic. I literally was on unemployment and needed income, and I think that was kind of the beginning inklings of me realizing, like, hey, I can earn money for my creative gifts. Like, let me see what this is like. And I had so many awesome supporters. Thank you to each and every one of you who have ever subscribed to Patreon. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I started it at a time when I wasn't doing anything else. I had all my time devoted to podcasting and planning and getting things ready, and now I'm only working one job part-time, which is nice. s- and I'm trying to figure out how to like reintegrate this stuff. But for the last, I mean, I guess essentially since Davis and I have been living here, almost 2 years, um, I have been working almost 40 hours, 30 to 40 hours a week, kind of. It's, if you really want to go in depth, like I could, but I'm just trying to say that I don't I think I'm just a different person when I changed too. Like I think that by retiring the Patreon and kind of giving myself some time to re-clarify and see what my goals are and what my intentions are, I think something even more beautiful and cool is going to come. But I appreciate that. I just want to let y'all know I am going to leave the Patreon open for just a $5 tier per month. And that is just to, if you want to donate to the cause and just support me because you love me, you're not getting anything. It's just literally just like a supportive fund. But yeah, I'm going to leave that on my Patreon. And if you need the link, you can catch it in the show notes, I think. And if not, it's patreon.com/embrace the madness. So today I just kind of got like I was like, damn, I want to podcast again, but I didn't really know what I wanted to talk about. Um, I actually have like this list that I made because I was trying to get my life organized, I guess over the last few months. Um, yeah, I've been doing a pretty good job as long as I stay disciplined. Learning and being disciplined about being disciplined is quite a journey. But yeah, so anyways, I'm like all over the place. Thank y'all for bearing with me and listening. Yeah, so I made like a whole list of episodes that I wanted to do, like ideas that I thought of. I think what was happening was I was literally spiritually constipated, and I think that's such a funny analogy, but well, I mean, I was also physically getting constipated at sometimes too. So sorry if that's TMI, but I'm also like a big Louise Hay fan. So there we are with all that. She is very much into the mind body spiritual connection, and that, it's all kind of operating together holistically. And sometimes emotions might be related to physical things. Anyways, going back to the list of podcast episodes, I had written down how posting on TikTok completely changed my life. And it's so funny to think because I never really caught on to the TikTok trend. I think it started during the pandemic. Like I literally just got TikTok and started using it, I think in March. So for the longest time, I was literally like, fuck that. Like, y'all are just scrolling and addicted and sucked in. But like, I didn't know. I didn't know. And like, I love my corner so much. And it's actually fucking scary, like, how artificial intelligence is so smart because I really think, and I know this might be a little hard to believe for some of y'all, but for me, I literally think like because we're all the same collective consciousness, like there's something with my subconscious involved in there because like they'll be doing TikTok tarot readings and just like these like channeled messages, and I'm just like, holy shit, like how did it know that I really needed that right now? And I know the whole thing is to keep people on the app. It's doing a great fucking job. But I remember before when I started, and I had shared this a little bit in my um Patreon, like I really wanted to do like this video aspect. But there was something that I was afraid of. And because like I had made one video, I think, on my Patreon, and I just like I'm not into the whole let's get professional equipment, let's get really good lighting, let's like make this really high quality for YouTube. Like I'm just like not that invested. And so I mean, in that in combination with really having this fear of being seen and fear of being vulnerable, and it's like I can talk on the microphone, but being also a visual component is it just like adds another layer. So I was really afraid, and actually shout out to my friend Mackenzie for, sharing like just do it. You're going to be fine. Like just do it. Happy birthday by the way. And I don't know, like it took me some time. It took me a little bit and I found my corner on TikTok for sure, but I kind of explored this fear of being seen and you know what that means and how it was related to TikTok. And I feel like, I mean, some people are probably just silly, but if you're really in your brain, really heady, like thinking all the time, you just like start imagining all these scenarios of all the things that could go wrong. And so I just was afraid, I guess. And so let's see. I'm trying to see if I need to do this chronologically. Well, I guess first of all, because I really want to, my voice is like going all over the place, but I think it's because I'm so excited, which is also another level of awesome because being able to really lean in and be completely me in this moment is everything I ever dreamed of. And also talking on the radio microphone helps because I'm literally talking to, a glass wall most of the time. I'm not like talking to someone. So it's kind of like easier to talk to no one because, I'm just like having a million epiphanies. So, anyways, what I was gonna say was I really think that I want to continue on this approach of incorporating, kind of like the evolutionary and the science and more of that animal biology mixed with like the spirituality and psychology because I really think that that is a huge passion of mine. And like it's one of those things that I assume that everybody knows because I know it. And I'm learning that not everybody knows what I know. And that's why it's important for me to share. So, thinking about kind of like how I talked in the last episode, if you checked out, I shared a little bit about my kind of getting back into podcasting and my fear of rejection and humiliation. And I talked a lot about kind of like the biological basis for, why you would be afraid to be rejected. And so I just want to kind of continue on that theme in this episode. So, thinking about like the fear of being seen, well, that's just like for anybody to see you. And so, what I think of is kind of going back to that group dynamic situation. Let me take a sip of. We got this bubble water, and bubble water is sparkling water, but it's got ashwagandha in it. So shout out Aldi. So if we go back to that group idea where we go back, more primitive times when we lived in groups, when animals lived in groups, thinking about how their behavior. Well, I guess not necessarily too. Anyways, I equate being seen as like being vulnerable. And what does it mean when you literally are vulnerable? You are you are exposed to everything. You're exposed to, potential danger. You're exposed to getting eaten by a predator or doing that. If you're an injured animal, you become vulnerable. And at that point you're like, "Oh shit, like my survival depends on not being seen right now and I need to get the fuck out, hide, do whatever." And so I really believe that we kind of have that same energy too. And for some reason, and this could just be, our human ego-ness, but for some reason we don't view that as a strength. I mean it could also be like patriarchy stuff too. We don't we can't show weakness or vulnerability because it means we will die. We could die or we could get eaten. And so I think that this definitely transcended through the human experience because, I mean, for men for sure, but I mean, really anybody, like if you're, I mean, women too, like, well, men, have this kind of like idea that if I show my emotions, I'm going to be vulnerable, which means I'm weak, which means, other people might make fun of me and reject me. And, women also face the idea of being vulnerable and weak and being taken advantage of, being raped, being killed, being all of these things. So, yeah, we definitely do not want to be seen and we do not want to be vulnerable. And that was kind of like, a more extreme example of what I'm talking about. But we, we also have this fear of being seen in, I guess, like a lesser degree. So, what I'm thinking of is like for me, I shared a little bit on the last episode about how kind of sharing my feelings and being vulnerable was kind of not, it's not like I got in trouble for it, but I kind of gotten like either like kind of like laughed at or that kind of situation, which kind of like, well, I don't want to be laughed at and I don't want to be rejected and I'm not just going to be vulnerable anymore. And so I think that we learn this behavior from, our parents, our caregivers, our community, our friends, our peers, all of these influences in society. And I mean, and being seen is like, yeah, the fear of being rejected. What happens if I'm a goofball on TikTok and people think I'm stupid? Like, things like that. Like, my life will be over. People will think I'm dumb. Just like all those things. And I really, it really does tie back to that fear of being rejected because if you're in a group and you get rejected, it means that you are could die. If it means you could, be removed from the group, be removed from the protection and the resources and all of those things. And I'm just now thinking like maybe I should have I mentioned earlier that I graduated with a bachelor's in psychology with a concentration in neuroscience. And so I was very much into this brain chemistry aspect of it and the biology and how really humans have more evolved brain structures, but there are so many similarities within animal brains as well. And it also depends on how you study um the the animal kingdom and things like that. Um Not just the animal. Well, I guess it's the animal kingdom. All of the things. But since we are more evolved things, we have these brain structures where we, can process and integrate and talk about an experience where, like a squirrel doesn't. I mean, they probably have ways of communicating experiences to their species, but I'm just saying like as far as I know, we are the ones who are like processing emotion and we, have consciousness of being a conscious being and that metacognition and all those things. But yeah, essentially underneath in our unconscious like brains, we still have a lot of these same structures of, fear, danger. If you've ever heard of the fight or flight, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous systems, like animals have that too. And going back to that main definition of biology is like life just wants to sustain life and make more life and just keep procreating. And so in order to keep procreating, you get alerted when there's danger to avoid danger. Kind of like the whole thing of like, well, I don't want to be an injured animal that is completely exposed to the outside world. So I really think that that was kind of happening on a very, very primitive level. I mean, I think that's how the fear of being seen kind of comes from. But for me, yeah, I was just afraid. I thought, like, well, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I thought, I just have always thought this idea that I wasn't funny, and I thought that what I said was stupid. Like, I don't know. I have all those thoughts, and that's like a whole autobiography. But yeah, so that's kind of what came up for me when I was like, well, maybe I want to post on TikTok, because the corner of TikTok that I found was like, oh my God, these people are being vulnerable and these people are being authentic. They're sharing their experiences, they're inspiring others, they're sharing affirmations, they're sharing all these things that I care about. And I was like, oh my God, like I could do that. Like, I want to be someone who helps people in that way. And so I was like, well, shit. Like, also, like, I can spend so much time on Instagram or social media doing all those things. And like, I still only have like 200 something followers on Embrace Madness. And I know I get a lot more listeners than that, but it's just like, I think TikTok also has a potential where you could just go viral. Like, who knows? Like, I mean, whatever the statistics say, like some of my videos, like the one I got the other day was 1,400. I mean, that's 1,400 people that would have seen it, that wouldn't have seen it. I mean, like, so I was just like, let me take a risk on TikTok. And so I started at the beginning. I don't even know. I mean, I guess I'm trying to think of when I would have started it, because I think I started posting TikToks in March, which Mm, I'm not really sure when. I mean, it had at least been a couple of months that I was like, I want to post on TikTok, but I'm scared of being vulnerable. And so yeah, I started posting trends because that anxiety kept coming up, like, well, don't say anything, you're gonna be sound stupid. So I would do the trends where it's like other people's voices, but I was still kind of being silly because I was starting to have fun. And when you record the kind of dialogue TikToks, like it's like you're acting. And I was like changing clothes and putting on hats and glasses. And I forgot, like, we used to do this shit when we were little. We used to love filming videos. We would make music videos. Like, there's this one, oh my God, with Tristan and her brother Chase. And we made it was like a scary, scary movie going into these abandoned like cabin things. But yeah, I was having so much fun, and so I was posting, and then I kind of like fell off. And I I had that tendency with social media, and like I'm trying not to judge myself about it because it is what it is. Like, I don't need to add more guilt and shame about me struggling. So I got back on, and dude, I'm having the time of my life. Like, I'm still growing my following, and I'm not like completely obsessed, but it's fun because it's like coming from this like funny play, like this intentional fun place. Like, I'm not like, oh God, I guess I gotta post on Instagram now. Like it's actually like inspired, and like I'll save the ones that I like and want to do. And then yeah, I started recording like my own voices, and I stopped telling myself that what I have to say is dumb, because what I'm learning is like I have to share my truth. I have to share, like, I literally was born to share my truth. We were all born to share our truth. We all deserve to share our truth. And I think that we, for fear of being seen, don't want to share our true feelings as a collective. Like, I think I think that by me speaking my truth and sharing my truth and living in my truth, that I can truly inspire other people to do it. Like, I've already seen it happen. Like, so many of my close friends, my Bonnaroo group, like the amoeba. I don't know why it took so long to say that. The amoeba's like my group of friends that we've been going to festivals with, but we want to do big things. But they have literally said, dude, you are inspiring us just by showing us like all of the things that you're doing and all the magic you're creating. And like that makes me feel good because I'm like, shit, yeah, like you can literally do anything you want, I believe. I mean, and this is also coming from a white female's perspective, but I also do believe that we are souls, that we all have this chance to really step in alignment with our truth. I think that we all have truths, no matter who we are, who people think we are, our gender, our identity, our race. I think we all have a truth to share. And yes, my privilege definitely gets me through different doors, but I still think to our core that we are all spiritual beings and we all have a truth to share. And so I just want to inspire others to do that because it's so important. And I'm learning, and I've shared a lot about this through my blog and probably on the podcast, but for so long in my life I was living out of alignment. And what I say when I mean out of alignment, I mean inauthentic. And what I mean when I say inauthentic is I was literally rejecting part of myself. I was rejecting myself. I didn't trust myself. I was abandoning myself. And because of this, I was sad and miserable and negative and hopeless and like because I wasn't sharing my truth. I didn't think that my truth deserved to be shared, or I didn't think that my truth was anything worth listening to. But, oddly enough, TikTok is helping me realize that it doesn't fucking matter. Like, we all have the opportunity to share our hearts and share what's going on in our life. And it's inspiring other people. Like, it's insane. I've never felt like surrounded by that in person. And so it's so cool to know that there's like hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions, like who do believe like in being authentic and taking care of ourselves and taking care of others. So it's just like I'm just, in a way grateful for TikTok. And like I know that it's, owned by the Chinese government. I'm sure my data is all over the place. It's just like it brings me those little joys. And so I'm like leaning on the TikTok side and like, whatever. I think it's magical that I now will just share what's on my heart when like a few months ago I was too scared to even like consider it. And it's just something that has really helped me because also like we all have a truth to share. Like, and I'm learning this through with music and my whole journey being a creator, creative, all whatever. um Shit, what was I saying? Yeah, we each have art to share in whatever way or expression that happens to be. And I think that we each deserve an opportunity to share that because there's no better or worse than like I mean, and I guess I'm getting kind of in weird territory, but like I mean, if you sharing your truth is harmful to another person, like that's fucked up. But I think that we're just vessels of whatever created us, and I think that by tuning into that and sharing our truth and sharing our art and fully expressing ourselves, that we get to share this magic that only our unique individual self has the power of sharing. I think I'm just going on like a million tangents, but that's kind of a little bit of how TikTok changed my life. And I'm so grateful because it's just allowing me to further deepen my trust in myself and my belief in myself and my belief in my message and my belief in my truth. And it's just really powerful. And it lets me be silly. And I've yet to, hit the TikTok troll hater party, but I'm I'm still convinced that like this is a good thing, and I'm grateful that these people exist out there and that this community exists. And if you're not already following me on TikTok, then come visit. I just love it because I can literally post. It's not like I have to go between social media. It's like I can literally just post all on TikTok. Like I'm posting my DJ stuff, I'm posting now trying to post my podcast stuff. I'm posting just Madeline stuff. Like sometimes I don't want to have to pick one of my two personalities. Like I just want to be me. And TikTok really allows me to share all of that information and that stuff in one place. So I don't think I shared my username yet, but if you want to follow me, my name is at Madeline Holdford, MadeleineHoldford. And if you're following me on Matto, or I'll put it in the show notes. I'm like trying to figure out where you can get a link, but yeah, I'll put it in the show notes. And yeah, just come join. Like if you're looking for, you know, fun, silly, lighthearted, well, I share a lot of deep things, but just like uplifting things. Definitely give me a follow. Definitely follow my journey. I just want to share more of my truth and help each and every one of you and inspire you to find yours. So I think that's good. I'm freaking off to a roll. I did a podcast last week. I did a podcast today. And it's coming from like an inspired flow place and not like a forceful, strict place. So I'm just grateful for that. I'm grateful for you listening. All my links, I guess, will be in the show notes. And yeah, I love y'all so much. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye. If you'd like access to more podcasts and a postcard each month, check us out on patreon.com/embracemadness.